Holy Book says, ill-gotten wealth disappears quickly, but wealth gotten through hard work remains for a very long time. A very good day to you and welcome to another episode of Youth Time on Being with Television, that program that brings to you issues and matters concerning our young persons here in Benue State and in Nigeria as a whole. My name is Dorcas Chia and we apologize for starting behind schedule. This was due to some issues beyond our control. Today we are going to be looking at something that has been disturbing our society. It's eating deep. It's a very crucial topic. We are going to be looking at the get rich quick syndrome, with main focus on some crimes and some of these syndromes that may be related to this. But before we delve into the main discussion, let's go on a very short break, and when we return, our guest will take us on this ride. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Youth Time on Being with Television, and we are going to be discussing the Get Rich Quick syndrome. You can follow this episode or this program on Star Times channel 134, and you can also connect with us on our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all with the name Being with Television. I have with me two young gentlemen in the studio who are going to be telling us what we need to know, discussing this issue in depth, and advising us, encouraging us, and educating us on what we all need to know concerning this particular issue that is bedeviling our society. By my right, I have with me Mr. Samuel B. He is a construction professional, and by my left, an all-time youth ambassador of Youth Time. His name is Sifa Awen. He is a social development worker. Good to have you both in the studios.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and thank you for coming here and accepting our invitation. Okay, now to the main discussion. We can say that, I'll start with you, Mr. Samuel.
All right.
We can say that the get rich quick syndrome, just like the name implies, it has to do with, one trying to, make money or become better through means that are not aligned to the normal form. Yeah. And most of the times we see people, they indulge into this, and it brings about very gruesome consequences. So what is your take concerning this particular issue?
First of all, the parents have a very, very huge role to play here.
Okay.
You see, in recent times, we have parents leave their children to maids. Parents leave their children to strangers. Parents don't have that. There's no that child-parent attachment. It begins from the home. There's no that child-parent attachment like we used to have way back in the 90s, where we go to school, we close, we have our parents pick us up from school, or we move as a cluster, pupils from school back home. Getting home, our mommies are preparing meals. Even from our table manners, they observe. They know, okay, this child is actually one that eats badly. They begin to correct your table manners from there.
Yeah.
And it begins from little things like that. And then some of these kids, they even refuse to take correction at that point. And then you see that, okay, maybe beating, quarreling, and stuff like that come up. Now, that discipline is not there again. There are countless of people who take their 2, 3, 4 months babies to places where they pay money and those children are taken care of. So one, they don't even know what facial reactions that tells the feelings of those children or anything that has to do with those children. All they feel is their money can give them everything. But that parental, that parent-child attachment is not there. Some of those kids will even look at their mothers and look at them so strangely. They are more attached to the maids that are taking care of them better than their legitimate parents. Going back home now, okay, while I was in primary school, for instance, we go to school. I schooled in Kaduna.
Okay.
Then we go to school by 8 a.m. and close by 1 p.m. And that 1 p.m. we have our siesta break from 1:30 to 3:30. You have to take a nap for 2 good hours.
Yeah.
It was our parents' task to ensure that. Now, when you're done sleeping, you wake up, you freshen up, maybe you go play football, just do an exercise for 1-2 hours. You are back home. Of course, there are some chores you have to do. You do. Your parents ensure all this. You do them. And then at night, there are times for reading. We do night preps. You read. After your, when it's about, I think, 10-15 minutes to 9 o'clock, everybody will converge in the parlor and watch NTA Network News at 9. Then by 9:30, 10, everybody's going to bed. You know, good. So that's unity, that connection, child-parent connection is not there anymore. It's not there anymore. And that is where the problem started from. Because the moment you are very conversant with the character that a particular child exhibits, the moment he's deviating from that character, you are going to react about it and do something about it very, very fast. But it's not like that again. And I remember those days when we were in school. When you do something wrong in school, they'll flog you in school. When you go back home, they must have reported you. Yes, they'll flog you. Then when you do something wrong at home, they'll flog you and report you to school. And when you get to school, they'll flog you again. You understand? So that discipline, that stern discipline was very, very high at that time.
Yeah.
When we close from school, we move as a cluster. If you spend money, our parents did not expose us to money early. My father didn't used to give me money. Now, how we did is, my mom was a food seller. So she prepares our meals, our breakfasts, our lunch, put them in our box, and we go to school. If you have all this, why do you need money? Do you understand? Now, some people whose parents were, let me say, well-to-do, better than some of us, they had money. But within that our cycle, that cluster, we go to school and come back. We're staying in a quarters, we're staying in ABU doctor's quarters. So our parents were almost on the same level, So the moment you begin to spend money, there's suspicion.
We'll report where are you coming? Where is it coming
we
from?
know they don't give you money at home. So what's happening? Where did you get this money from? Sometimes they'll try to entice us and I'll say, no, we're not taking this. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But now, you don't find such things again. Rather, if I see my guy spending money, I'll just be like, what's up? Flash me 5K there sharply. I don't care how he gets it. He'll give me the money. And tomorrow, if he's in trouble because of that 5K he gave to me, I'll be an accomplice. And a lot of parents now, in fact, I've seen a situation where parents even encourage their daughters to go out there. Yes. To go out there. Then, the discipline was even more staying on the female gender than the male. They'll allow us to play ball anyhow, fly here and there, come back, they'll flog us. But the women, they will be at home with their mothers in the kitchen. And the moment you begin to portray any character that is different from the one they already know, they check you in depth, they check you very, very well, and ensure that that issue that is deviating your character is being fixed.
Okay.
But these days, that attachment is not there again.
It's not there anymore.
So a lot of parents don't even know what their kids are doing behind doors. And at early ages, they are using smartphones. They're exposed
this
to
issue of
pornography,
and technology.
Ponzi schemes, a lot of things. When GSM came up, I was about 13 years. I never used any until I was 21. And at 21, I was in 200 level. That was when I got a phone. Not like my parents could not afford it, or I could not afford it.
Yeah.
But it was a discipline that was instilled within the family, and we had to work with that. So, for me, that is the root of the problem.
Yeah.
That is the root cause.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sefa, he has spoke much on the issue of parents being one of the factors or contributing to this social menace. And he has talked about how there's no discipline anymore. I want you to also just chip in a little, but while you're doing that, I just want to get something clearly. Some people might say just the fact that for families that are well-to-do, they are rich and everything, and you see situations where parents, they over-pamper the children, they provide everything for them, to the issue of down to the point of even leaving wealth for them. Some people, I was discussing with a friend, and he said, those are one of the things that it even contributes to making them wanting to go the extra mile just to get money. In his own opinion, they don't know the value of hard work. They've not worked hard. So that whole scenario, when they are faced with a very bad situation, they are not able to cope, and they have to look for any means to be able to get money. Would you agree with this?
Well, there are a lot of things that we need to look at when we're discussing these issues. And part of it is, contemporary parents in code has not helped a lot or much in the growth and development of children.
Okay.
The reason is that parents these days feel like loving a child means not punishing that child. The child can go away with whatever they do. A child does wrong, they find somebody to blame, find an excuse for why the child has behaved the way they behaved, just to let it pass. And then children become accustomed to that behavior. They know that whatever I do, I can it can be thrown under the bus. Nothing will happen. Then they grow up with that mindset. So at 13 years of age, 14 years of age, 15 years of age, you find children doing unspeakable things. You can't explain them. And their parents are making excuses for them still. If you talk, they'll tell you in tea that, them one. Leave my child. It is my child. I'll discipline that child the way I didn't fit. We grew up in an environment where our parents alone were not responsible for our upbringing. They could travel for a month, 2 months without informing anyone, and we'll still be in check. Because if you mess up, your neighbors are there with their cameras looking at you, and they will punish you more than your parents would.
I had a neighbor like that.
And when your parents come back,
there was a time my mom traveled, and my siblings and I, she left us with our aunties in the house, and we were just, roaming around playing, and there was an issue where we were running on the fence. We climbed the fence and we were running on it. We thought we were having fun, but when she came back, just for that particular neighbor, the house is not so close to our own, just opposite. She came back and told our mom this thing, and our mom beat the living lights out of us. And for that, we had this issue where, like, we don't like this neighbor, she's an member. So I have to agree with you that then training, it was not like
in my own case, we won't have a man on our street that if there's a way you act, you behave, they refer you, take you to the man for discipline, because our parents will feel like they cannot handle this case. That man has to be the one to handle it. It was that bad. So we knew better than not to misbehave. Now there's something that I keep thinking about parenting. See, children don't have privacy and should not be given privacy.
I totally agree.
They don't have, they should, you cannot have your kids going to their room, a kid of 12, 13 years and locking their doors. Why are you locking the door? What are you doing behind those closed doors? Children do not have privacies. They should not be given. And children should be conditioned until you are sure they are able to take care of things by themselves when they become adults, in quote. Because if you let these kids, they don't know their left from their right. These talks used to sound very simple and common. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing, and they feel like, I know what I'm doing, until they actually don't know what they're doing. So you give children those kind of access to things they should not have access to, and then they become accustomed to it. When you start talking, they'll cry and blackmail you into keeping quiet. You have to be the good mother or the good father. You keep quiet. You let them fly with it. And then this is how these kids begin to go into certain lifestyles that they should not go into, and they keep wanting more and wanting more and wanting more and wanting more. It doesn't stop. It keeps going. So society has contributed a whole lot in the deterioration of the upbringing of children in society, because even in schools these days, a child should do something that is not right, get punished, the parents will come there, tear the school apart. You see them start writing all sorts of things on social media, accusing the school of certain things, and then you will now see that children are coming to, let's just paint this picture real quick. We have kids. You have disciplined your child, brought your child up to understand boundaries, not cross certain lines and all of that. Mine was a free pass. In my house, there's only one rule. There are no rules. Do whatever you like, it will pass. He does the same. Now the three kids now find the same thing. One school. Your well brought up child, mine that does not understand boundaries, his that does not understand boundaries, they come and find themselves in one school. Do you think that one child will be able to stand the two of our kids? They will not. They'll corrupt him. That's why you hear very unspeakable things happening in boarding schools these days. Children have come into those schools with their set of bad behavior in quotes, and then they are bringing that, and other kids are picking up on those streets. And you know how bad behavior can be easily picked up on. So even the Bible says something about not sparing the rod, right?
Yes.
If children mess up, whip them.
You whip them. Okay, now I want us to talk about a particular issue, that is a get rich quick syndrome. The issue of the Yahoo boys. It's a trend. It's the order of the day now. Here in Benue State too, we're experiencing it on the large, and we can see the effects in our society. And one will sit and wonder, I'm like, why? You see young guys, they are indulging into this. You know, you go to a supermarket, you see a very young guy, somebody even older than, let's say, you or even me, and the person is able to afford something up to like 400k. While you're a civil servant, you're looking, and before you know, someone will just tell you, he's already into that, you know. And one will sit down and ask why. We know it's a get rich quick syndrome, but I'll still ask like the person, just why? Why are we having things like this in our society, especially this issue of the Yahoo boys?
Okay. Well, a lot of factors can be considered here. A whole lot. And one of it is societal pressure. Societal pressure of wanting to get things done quickly. So, the children of this generation, they do not understand order, following certain order of things and ensuring that priorities should remain intact. At our time, we understood going to school was the in thing for us. We want to go to school, want to finish up, want to get good grades, want to go out there and explore the world. But these guys don't want to go to school. They want to wake up and spend money. You just want to wake up and stay in your house and just be getting money. You don't want to work. And see, that's the problem. They're not even thinking about how to make the money. They want to wake up and think about how to spend money. So that's like that's the steez these days. Yeah, it's the in thing. So they want to spend money. And now you will see that when people start thinking about making money alone, they do whatever they can to make that money. And then the Yahoo boys thing came up, and boy, to be a Yahoo boy is one of the most difficult things you can do in your life. Those people get strength though, because you be at weak, you have to be changing your voice, you have to be exploring, you have to do a lot of things to convince someone.
And this is a whole lot of energy. If you channel it into something, maybe
else.
voiceover now. So you make money.
So the people you find doing that thing,
okay,
they have found themselves in certain groups, cultism groups and all of that. So you find the same people doing the same thing. They wake up in the morning, then the trend has gone from stealing phones at gunpoint and all of that, robbing people, to cyber crime. The people who do this, if you engage them one-on-one, you will find them they're always looking for covers. I had an experience recently, and the pressure I speak of, mind you, parents are a serious contributory factor to these pressures. I bet you it is happening, it's real. Your child comes home, is driving a car worth 7 million, 8 million, is spending money in the house, lives in an apartment, lives in a hotel, not an apartment, for 8 months to 1 year. You know that child has no known source of income. They are spending millions every other day. I'm not asking questions. Whether you are proud of your kids, when they come, you'll be like, what about do it?
Now bless the child. I even watched a video where a child came back home with a car. A young boy came back home with a car and came to come and give the mother. The mother was like, they should come and arrest him.
Explain how that money comes about.
Because he's not working.
How did you get that money? How did you buy me a car? See, so from the house, because of how bad things are right now, parents turn a blind eye to those things. True. That's one. Then let's talk about our religious system as well. When you go to some churches, see, my other brother is a pastor. Then I know one other pastor that these are people I'm seeing, the pastors in my life I refer to. My other brother and Pastor Siki. There's only Pastor Siki does that I like. You don't bring money and give to the church without him asking you questions. He will ask you. You don't just wake up one day, you are earning, we are earning, say, 150k. Then one Sunday you are coming to do Thanksgiving, you are giving 1.2 million naira. When your total salary for annually is not to that amount. How did you make this money? You have to explain it. You have to explain it. So the church does not encourage truth in quotes. The church wants you to do what the church wants. Now let me say some churches, not the church, do what they want, then they'll be happy. You become the point person in church. But not these two people I've mentioned. There could be others out there, I don't know them. But these ones I'm talking about, they are very strict. My brother, he don't just come and give my brother money without asking you a question. He already knows you. I give money, he probably knows you. So if you're supporting something in the church, he's asking you questions. How do you make money? And so some churches are incorporating certain discussions aside from the normal preaching now. They hold certain meetings, they invite outsiders to come talk to them about certain things, they do entrepreneurship schemes and all of that. So you don't just wake up and want to give money without questions being asked. But some churches are not like that. That they are telling you to come and sow a seed of one outrageous money. And because of course people are busy, they're applauding you in church and all of that, you find that money, and you find that a lot of these boys are talking about are very, very active in church.
Very true.
Yeah.
There are certain churches that if you think about, you just know that this is where these people worship.
Yeah.
Nobody asks, no questions asked. So,
okay. All right. I will see you itching to add something to what he has said.
Yeah. When he talked about parents interrogating their children, how they make such wealth, I was just laughing because the first time I used a Symbian phone in my house, my mom took me to police station.
Symbian phone was a thing then. It's like the iPhone.
I'm telling you, that was Nokia Engage. I was in university then, in Uniagric Makurdi. So I was a business guy. I used to go to Cotonou, buy stores, shoes, jeans. So I promoted to cars and machines in construction. So that time there was money. So when I came into town, I had the latest phone is Nokia Engage. It was like a TV game control pad. So I bought it, big boy. And I didn't use the phone. I wanted to go and launch it in Kaduna. My parents were based in Kaduna, by the way. So I wanted to go and launch it in Kaduna where I'll feel fly among my peers, you know. So when I got home, plugged the phone to charge. Next time my mom just came in and she was like, "What's that?" I said, "Phone." "How did you get it?" By then she didn't know I was a big boy dealer, you know, all those things. So she was like, "How did you get it?" I said, of course I couldn't even tell her how it came about. But of course I wasn't doing anything illegal, honestly. So she was like, "Shu Hivega, you started, Abi?" I said, "I don't understand. I have a phone." And she said, "Okay, just 1 minute." So she stepped out. Oh, the next thing, one of our uncle that is all those days in that guys there, they used to call them Operation Yaki. The guy just came with 6 guys in a truck. So when he came on, said, "He's there, pick him." My dad was not around, and any decision that she takes is okay for him. So when my uncle came, he's a guy man too. So he called me to one side. He said, "This phone is a phone that is not yet in circulation. How did you get it?" And I explained to him. He now called Momsi and explained to her. Momsi said, "Please, that I should go and sell that phone and use that money to do another thing. She doesn't want a situation where armed robbers will come to this house because of this kind of phone tomorrow. She doesn't know its worth, but she knows it's expensive." And as at 2013 that I'm telling you, I bought Nokia Engage at 166,000. At that time, that was so much money. That was more than my father's pension at that time. So, and if you go back to my bank account, there was no money. So my mom will look at me, she'll say, "So you now, you're just happy, you are very, very peaceful that you're using a phone of almost 200,000. You don't sleep at night." In fact, my sleeping clock was affected. Usually, when we're coming up, we have morning devotion by 6 a.m. So I would press phone until when it's 6 and people are coming to the parlor house. My room was very close to the parlor. When people are coming to the parlor and they start singing and clapping, my mom will deliberately come and clap at my door. I will not be able to get up. Sometimes I'll get up and sit at the devotion and be dozing. My dad would just stretch his leg and kick me. I was always sitting beside him, so he just stretch his leg and kick me, you know. So all those things made us, we knew where we came out from. And when I was going to secondary school, my dad gave me some rules that kept me straight. He told me, he said, one, if you go and join any occultic group, I attended FGC Vandika, by the way. That place, before I went, he told me, he said, that place, they initiate small children, that FGC Vandika you are saying, they initiate small children into cult. And you, the way your eyes to choke like this, if you go to that place, if they initiate you into cultism,
So part of the pressures we are discussing,
and you come back here, if they say bring your mother or bring me, you will not see us. I was calm. Said the day you engage yourself with any boy-girl activity, just know that you have decided that instead of this education, that's the path you choose to follow. So we'll just marry the woman, keep her at home, then you start thinking from there what to do with your life. Then he told me, he said, the day I fail exams, you take me to one community secondary school in my village. So these things kept me straight. Ask anybody who knows Sati that graduated in 2008 in FGC Vandika. I was the assistant food prefect. I didn't used to take no for an answer. There was no impossibility. And most of them these days, when they see me, they thank me that they thought I was a wicked guy. But I've made them understood that life was all about being focused. Like, your no have to be your no. Even my mates then used to be very, very scared of me because what is wrong is wrong. Let's say it that way. Until now, I have people who dislike me because of that, but I don't care because I know what I'm up to.
Yeah.
You know? But these days now, you see people, they are making money. Their friends could be staying away from them, keeping their arm's length. But tell this guy the truth. Do you understand? Tell this guy the truth. What's up, guy? This thing you're doing, it doesn't make any sense. You could channel this energy into learning a trade or a skill, or just do something. You can be creative. See, this brain is very, very big. This horizon is very, very large.
Funnily, when you meet people like that, they don't even agree first of all that they're into
things like that.
They don't. Or you see them spending money. We know, I know, you know, I know, we know, all of us know, but they will never agree. And see, like I'm saying, we nobody will come from somewhere else and correct these issues for us. It is up to us to make the corrections. How do we do that? We start bringing up initiatives to divert these people from that to this. Yes. When we were much younger, we had people do that for us at the level we were at the time. Taught us certain things and all. Quite recently, we went to his school to have a mentorship and training session for the SS3 students. We didn't expect that what we were going to do was going to, then the outcome would be like that. At the end of the day, we realized that what we did was bigger than us. We spoke to over 150 students, boys and girls, and the convener, Mrs. Lovett, took us to that place where 15 of us, we went there with about 4 cars, which she arranged everything and we just supported her to do it. And, oh God, but we're not asking ourselves that, do we realize what we've done? As of this morning, I've gotten a lot of calls myself. She called me that she has gotten a lot of calls, people asking her to do the same thing in Makurdi. We're not doing a lot of those things. I even heard there was a Yahoo school in Benue, in Makurdi.
It's an academy.
So somebody will sit down.
They have an academy. When I heard of that, so I was like,
opening an academy to teach people how to commit a crime. So why are we not teaching people how to do something better with their lives? So it is so bad now that when you find people who are genuinely making money, you start feeling like this guy. They do Yahoo.
There's something wrong.
Yahoo they do. We know this thing. We know access. But it's making his money legit.
Yeah.
And people like that are very disciplined. You never find them staying in a hotel anywhere. That rather thinking of how to get their houses or how to, they are very, very careful with spending money. But not the old guys who come to a place and you see a Dorima up and now they are spending fire and nobody's asking what is happening. Can't they make us feel like, oh no, they don't do that?
I was in Benin City in January. So that's another hub for all of them.
Yeah,
so
true.
When I got into the hotel, the first thing I saw, of course, it was the clients, the owner of the hotel that was my client. I was meant to build for him. So I traveled down so we could have a physical meeting. When I walked into the hotel and I looked around, it's a very, very big hotel. When I looked around, the sort of exotic cars I saw around spoke something to me. So that night, he actually gave me an accommodation there. The leased room there is 53,000. And it's one pocket room that you can divide this place into like 4 or 6. You just be there. I didn't sleep there. I left to a neighboring hotel. Took a room for I think 18k or so. I slept, did my thing. The next morning we had our meeting and I came back. But while I was there, we had our meeting by the poolside. I saw boys spending fire, as you said.
Fire.
Boys were spending mad money. It was later I even came to discover that that place, their mode of exchange is hard currency. Dollars, man. It's not naira. If you are spending in naira, you have to use your card. But if you have to carry out any cash transaction, you either paying in euros, pounds sterling, or dollars. I said, we're in Nigeria. What's going on? Why are we using currencies from other places?
Yeah.
But these are people who, if you check this guy deeply, is somebody who is very, very influential within the society. Most of the politicians, these are people who decide who become the next governor here, who become, based on their influence, some of them sink their funds, you know. And then at a point where they've put these guys in place, for these guys to checkmate all these things, they become very cold about it. Do you understand? It just seems like, okay, you're feeding me, and then tomorrow you ask me to do something wrong. I'll go ahead to do it, because I know my next meal is at stake. That is my own take about this.
Yeah.
Because most of these guys you see around, the governor himself cannot do that job alone. That's why the whole setup is like a tree, right? He's there on the top, and then there are branches, people he has delegated to carry out those jobs. It will shock you to discover that people at the grassroots that has direct contact with indigenes of the states are those people who even fuel some of these activities. There are instances where people fuel activities and go back to fight that activity they have fueled. But they will stand behind. Other people will be putting in legitimate energy to quench that fire they fueled. But they will be behind scenes laughing because they know that it is a wasted effort.
Yeah.
And that's what is going on in our society today. Because if you check a lot of things that are going on, a lot of people who are influential within the society are involved. Once upon a time, I worked with somebody in the Nigerian customs, and I discovered that most of the contrabands that come in are from influential people and some of these diplomats, because they don't pay custom duty and they bypass searches.
All those things.
And as such, you see them carry arms, ammunition, cocaine, whatever, what have you. And the only thing, they just say, okay, it's my goods, so take 200 million. Those guys are the maybe on border patrol, just collect money, just go where they're going. Like,
that's just it. Okay, right now we are due for a break, and when we return, we'll be looking at ways or things we can do to tackle the situation on ground. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Youth Time will continue. Glad to know you are still there watching and keeping a date with us today. And we have been discussing the get rich quick syndrome. We still have Samuel B and Sifa Awen here in the studios, and they have spoke extensively on this issue. Right now, Sifa, just to wrap up everything, as we don't have much time left again, what are those ways, the things we can do to be able to, tackle the situation? We cannot curb it in all, but we can start from somewhere to at least reduce the amount of crimes in the society. So what do you suggest should be done?
Okay. Okay, real quick. Everything begins and ends with the mind. Mindset. 5-10 years back, the people around here didn't have a mindset like they have now. 10 years after that time, if you just oppose what we had then and what we have now, there's been a change of mindset. So it means that something happened for people to change the way they thought, and they're now looking towards getting rich quick without any legitimate means. That means that we can actually still change that mindset to what it should be. If these Yahoo boys in quote can convince people to delve into the cybercrime thing, I think we can also do the same. How do we do that? We start bringing up initiatives to counter what is on ground presently. If they could have an academy, why are we not having a training? Why are we not having training centers for young people? I think young people have too much time now. They have too much time, and the Bible says the idle mind is the workshop of the devil. Once you are busy, I was having a conversation with my friend. We're talking about how we don't have time for certain things now. A few years back, it was not like that. If we have centers where people are going to acquire skills, I think the governor of Benue State did something like that recently for ICT and all of that.
Yes, the Benue Tech skills.
So if people are getting involved in learning skills and all of that, I don't think they will have time to be staying awake all night learning how to scam somebody. We could as well channel that energy elsewhere. And then there's so much work, less people. So why don't we ourselves start bringing up those initiatives to ensure that these people get engaged after school? What are they doing? Are they volunteering organizations, learning skills? Are they going to harness their skills? Are they going to build on themselves? So while we are also looking at the issue, we should bring up solutions. Let's bring up initiatives. Think of initiatives we can bring up to engage these people, turn their minds around. They should see the bad side of it. It's not ending well for them. Every day, EFCC is parading people, hundreds of them, left, right, center. And you don't want to get problem with EFCC. You don't want to. So I think we should tilt towards that area, bring on initiatives there. We engage these people and see how we can change their mindset to something more fruitful and purposeful.
Okay, all right. Samuel, please, just in 1 minute, just give your own wrap up.
Yeah, he has said everything. Yeah. But as I earlier said, my hammer head is on the parents, because my parents did a very good job on me, even though at a point it seemed like I was sleeping off radar. You know. Now, a lot of parents need to pay more attention to their kids. That's what, as in, even talking about this mindset. If your mindset is being changed in the school and it's not changed at home, it won't fly.
It won't fly.
It won't fly at all.
Checks and balances.
So I feel very bad that parents get so busy these days, chasing after money, chasing after wealth.
And the kids are also chasing money.
You know. So what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? You have a family. Pay attention to that family. You should have family time. Like how I grew up, my parents had family time for us. We discussed things that bother us with our parents. But that doesn't happen again. There are some kids that their fathers leave the house 7 a.m. and come back at midnight. Nice. The next morning he's leaving 7 a.m. again. He doesn't even have time. Maybe
they know they have a father in the house, but they've not seen the person.
Exactly. Maybe weekend, when he has time, he's sleeping. Or when he wakes up from his sleep at sunset, he goes out to hang out with his friends.
Yeah.
So it's very funny, and my pain is still with the parents. Because if the parents play their own role, then it will be easier for the schools. It will be easier for the skills acquisition centers. It will be easier for the churches. It will be easier for the society at large.
Yeah.
Because even in the streets, we see these guys every day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Samuel, for coming on the program. Thank you, Sifa. It has always been a pleasure. So you have heard from them, parents and everyone in the society. We have a lot of work to do. We can put our hands together, put our heads together, and join to be able to curb this situation that is bedeviling our society. So I hope you have taken something from today, and I hope you know that hard work does pays. And so please, in all you do, even if it's not really good at the moment, keep trying, keep being consistent, keep working hard, and one day it will click. So till I come your way next time with another topic, I still remain Dorcas.